Solitude isn't about being alone. It's about finding power within yourself. Have you ever felt an undeniable urge to distance yourself from the noise of the world? As if the company of others weighs more heavily on your soul than being in isolation. There's a reason why the chosen ones often stand apart from others, and it's not just because they prefer solitude, it's because it's a matter of survival. But why do those who are meant for something greater struggle to be around so many people? Why does the presence of others feel so draining, even destructive to their path? The answer isn't in the people themselves, but in the very nature of being chosen. Many people unknowingly act as energetic parasites, drawing off the vitality of those who possess strong, powerful energy like the chosen ones. For someone who is chosen, being surrounded by these people is like standing in a storm without protection. It's not only emotionally exhausting, it's physically draining. The energy of a chosen one is magnetic, drawing others to them. But that same energy also makes them a target for those who wish to latch on to something they lack. These energy parasites may come in the form of friends, family, or colleagues, and while they may seem harmless or even friendly, they have a constant need for reassurance, attention, or validation. Often unaware of the impact they have, their relentless need drains the chosen one. It's like pouring water into a bottomless cup. No matter how much is given, it's never enough, and the chosen one is left empty, unable to nurture their own growth or purpose. What makes this situation more dangerous is that these energy thieves don't respect boundaries. They demand your time, focus, and essence without giving anything in return. Once you allow them into your life, they keep coming back, leaving you feeling hollow and disconnected from the power that makes you unique. The chosen ones must be incredibly careful about who they allow into their space because their energy is sacred, meant for something far greater, not for those who only consume without contributing anything meaningful. Mediocrity also poses a silent threat. It spreads like a virus through everyday conversations, habits, and mindsets. When a chosen one spends too much time with people who are content with living ordinary lives, something insidious happens. The spark that makes them exceptional starts to fade. It's not that they wish to lower themselves, but constant exposure to mediocrity starts to normalize it. The extraordinary begins to feel distant, and the ordinary starts to seem acceptable. Most people are satisfied with what's easy or familiar. They pursue superficial goals, status, money, fleeting pleasures. But the chosen ones aren't wired to operate on that level. Their minds are attuned to something much higher, something more meaningful. When surrounded by those who don't share this vision, they risk being pulled into a cycle of small thinking. Mediocrity doesn't challenge them to grow, it drags them down. The danger of mediocrity isn't just in the ideas people share, but in how it affects the energy, creativity, and passion of the chosen. You can't expect a rare seed to grow in poor soil. In an environment filled with small ambitions, the mind of the chosen one shrinks to fit the limitations of those around them. They stop dreaming big, stop pushing boundaries, and worst of all, stop believing they are capable of more. The chosen ones need to protect their vision by distancing themselves from those who can't see beyond the ordinary. True connection is an incredibly rare gift for the chosen ones. Most people live their lives skimming the surface, engaging in idle gossip, small talk, or conversations that never delve deeper than the trivial. For the chosen, this isn't just frustrating. It feels pointless. Their souls crave depth, meaning, and authenticity. But these qualities are hard to find in a world obsessed with the superficial. When they try to connect with others, they can sense the emptiness behind most interactions. People focus on appearances, drama, or other surface-level matters, none of which resonate with someone driven by a higher purpose. The chosen ones can't pretend to care about things like the latest trends or celebrity gossip because their minds are elsewhere, focused on greater ideas and spiritual truths that most people don't even notice. Trying to connect with someone who can't meet them at this deeper level feels like trying to explain color to someone who has never seen light. This disconnect leaves the chosen feeling isolated, not because they choose to be, but because the gap between their inner world and the world around them is too wide to bridge. The world of others can often feel impossible to navigate. It's draining to constantly be misunderstood, to feel like an outsider among people who can't grasp what it's like to see life through multiple layers. The chosen ones crave conversations that feed their soul, ones that challenge them and elevate their perspective. Unfortunately, most people can't provide that. Instead, They offer distractions and shallow conversations, things that only weigh the chosen ones down. True connection for them can only be found with those few rare individuals who see the world through the same profound lens. Until they find these rare souls, solitude becomes their refuge. Crowds cloud clarity. When a chosen one is surrounded by too many people, something shifts. It's not just the feeling of being overwhelmed or crowded. It's as if their mental and spiritual clarity is stolen by the noise of others' energies. The chosen ones are highly sensitive to the vibrations around them, and in large groups, their ability to focus inward becomes clouded. It's like trying to hear a whisper in a room filled with shouting, nearly impossible to tune in to what truly matters. The chosen ones depend on their intuition to navigate life. They don't rely solely on logic. They listen to the quiet inner voice that provides direction. But the more people they are around, the harder it becomes to hear that voice clearly. Opinions, judgments, and emotional baggage from others pile up, blocking the connection they have with their inner wisdom. People often project their feelings and thoughts outwardly, and most aren't aware of the energetic noise they create. The chosen ones, being sensitive, absorb all of it. They can sense anxiety, anger, and stress even when unspoken. This bombardment of external energy becomes overwhelming, clouding their thoughts and making it difficult to maintain their usual level of clarity. Too many voices can also drown out their sense of purpose. In a crowd, everyone has an opinion, a need, or a perspective to share, and this noise can momentarily make the chosen one lose sight of their own vision. It's not that they are antisocial, it's that their path demands a level of mental and spiritual clarity that can't coexist with too many outside influences. They need quiet, not only to recharge, but also to stay aligned with the higher calling that defines their existence. For the chosen ones, solitude isn't just a choice, it's a necessity. When alone, they aren't avoiding people, they're reconnecting with themselves. It's in solitude that they recharge, realign, and reconnect with their true purpose. Being alone gives them the space to cut through the chaos of the world and tap into something deeper, a place where clarity and insight flow naturally. This isn't loneliness, it's a sacred space of self-discovery. Unlike most people who feel restless or fearful in solitude, the chosen ones find strength and power in their alone time. It's where they access the higher wisdom that guides them every day. Each quiet moment is a chance for reflection and connection to something far greater. It's in these times of stillness that they receive the ideas, visions, and direction that separate them from others. These moments are vital because their path isn't shaped by external influences. It's something deeply personal, something that can only be heard in silence. Being around too many people disrupts this sacred process. The constant demands for attention, advice, or validation pull the chosen ones away from their inner sanctuary. The more they give to others, the less they have left for themselves. If they lose that connection to their inner world, they lose the very essence that makes them chosen. It's not about isolation for its own sake. It's about protecting the source of their strength, creativity, and purpose. The chosen ones know that to fulfill their higher calling, they need solitude as much as they need air. It's in those moments of solitude that they regain the energy and insight to move forward, stronger and more focused than ever. For chosen ones, the ordinary becomes unbearable. It's not that they think they're superior to others. It's that their minds operate on a different frequency, tuned to a higher purpose. They see the world through a different lens, and the mundane simply doesn't resonate with them. When the chosen ones are surrounded by individuals who only talk about trivial matters like gossip, social media trends, or meaningless small talk, it feels like their spirit is suffocating. It's not just boredom. It's a deep sense of disconnection from everything that truly matters to them. The chosen ones are made for depth. They thrive in conversations that challenge their intellect and push the boundaries of their imagination. They want to explore ideas, purpose, the nature of existence, and the unseen forces that shape the world. But most people aren't interested in those conversations. They are more drawn to surface-level distractions. For the chosen one, engaging in such exchanges feels like trudging through quicksand. The harder they try to participate, the heavier it becomes. What makes it even worse is realizing that most people are content living in the shallows of life. They're not searching for more, they don't crave growth or seek deeper meaning. For the chosen one, this is incomprehensible. Their minds are always reaching for more understanding, more insight, more truth. So, when they are forced to engage with those stuck in the mundane, it feels like their brilliance is being dulled, their creativity stifled. It's not arrogance, It's a necessity. The chosen ones cannot remain in environments that don't nourish their spirit. They can't pretend to care about the superficial because doing so drains the energy they need to fulfill their higher purpose. The ordinary isn't just dull to them, it's a distraction from their mission, a weight that pulls them away from the extraordinary. Chosen ones carry a powerful aura that, whether they want it or not, draws attention and stirs the energy around them. It's not something they can control, it's simply who they are. Their presence alone disrupts the emotional and energetic equilibrium of the people they encounter. This isn't always a positive thing. In fact, it often makes them a target for emotional vampires, envy, and constant misunderstandings. When a chosen one enters a room, something shifts. People sense the difference immediately, even if they can't explain why. Not all attention is positive. Some people feel intimidated, others get jealous, and some just feel uncomfortable without knowing the reason. Chosen ones radiate an energy that can't be ignored, and for some, that's threatening. It challenges their sense of normal, forces them to confront their own limitations, and makes them feel small in comparison. This unspoken dynamic creates tension that the chosen ones can feel deeply, even when nothing is said. Emotional vampires are especially drawn to this energy. These are people who feed off the light of others because they lack their own inner source. They latch onto the chosen ones, seeking validation, comfort, or healing without offering anything in return. The problem is that the more the chosen give, the more these people take, creating a never-ending cycle of emotional drain that leaves the chosen ones exhausted and empty. Moreover, misunderstandings pile up. People project their insecurities, fears, or desires onto the chosen ones, often without realizing it. They misinterpret the chosen one's quiet strength as arrogance, their need for solitude as rejection, and their wisdom as condescension. The chosen don't fit neatly into the mold that others expect, and that often causes friction. Their aura disrupts, but it's not their responsibility to make everyone else feel comfortable. When a chosen one enters a space filled with people, they carry an energy that often makes others uneasy. This discomfort comes from a deep-seated fear of the unknown. For many, the chosen ones represent something outside of their understanding, a force that challenges the status quo and forces them to confront their own limitations. Most people prefer the familiar, the predictable, and the comfortable. When faced with someone who embodies a higher purpose, they are forced to reckon with parts of themselves that they may not want to acknowledge. This fear can manifest in various ways. Some may react with hostility or defensiveness, projecting their own insecurities onto the chosen. They may accuse them of being aloof or arrogant, not realizing that the chosen ones are simply existing in a space that feels authentic to them. Others may try to downplay the chosen one's light, making snide comments or belittling their achievements. This reaction is a desperate attempt to regain control over their own narrative, and it often leads to misunderstandings that are deeply painful for the chosen ones. The irony is that the chosen ones don't want to intimidate anyone. They simply want to be themselves. However, their very presence can evoke feelings of inadequacy in others, which leads to defensive behavior. As a result, the chosen often find themselves isolated, feeling like they can't truly connect with those around them. The fear of what they represent creates a wall that is difficult to break through. They stand apart not out of desire, but because their existence serves as a mirror, reflecting the limitations and fears of those who can't look beyond the surface. In that sense, their very essence becomes a source of discomfort for those who fear what they don't understand. For the chosen ones, the world often feels like a crowded marketplace, filled with voices clamoring for attention, all vying to define what success, happiness, and even identity should look like. The pressure to conform to societal norms can be overwhelming. People around them constantly project their ideas of what life should be, but for the chosen ones, this simply doesn't resonate. Their journey isn't about fitting into the mold. It's about charting their own course, staying true to their purpose and not being confined by the expectations of others. When surrounded by people who only discuss trivial matters, like the latest gossip, social media trends, or engage in meaningless chatter, the chosen ones often feel like their spirit is suffocating. It isn't just boredom, it's a deep sense of being disconnected from everything that truly matters to them. The chosen are wired for depth. They thrive in conversations that stretch their intellect and challenge their imagination. They crave discussions about purpose, the nature of existence, and the unseen forces that shape our world. But most people don't operate in that space. They are more interested in surface-level distractions. For a chosen one, engaging in these shallow conversations feels like wading through quicksand. The more they try to engage, the harder it becomes. What makes it worse is the realization that most people are perfectly fine living in this shallow realm. They don't desire growth or seek deeper meaning in life. For the chosen one, this is unfathomable. Their mind is always reaching for more understanding, more insight, more truth. When forced to interact with those stuck in the mundane, it feels like their brilliance is being dimmed, their creativity stifled. It's not arrogance, it's necessity. The chosen cannot remain in environments that don't nourish their spirit. They can't pretend to care about the superficial because it drains them of the energy needed to fulfill their higher purpose. To them, the mundane isn't just boring, it's a distraction from their mission, a weight pulling them away from the extraordinary. The aura of a chosen one is like a lightning rod. They carry a powerful energy that, whether they like it or not, draws attention and stirs the energy around them. It's not something they can control, it's simply who they are. Their presence disrupts the emotional and energetic balance of the people they encounter. This isn't always positive attention. In fact, it often makes them a target for emotional vampires, envy, and constant misunderstandings. When a chosen one walks into a room, something changes. People feel the difference immediately, even if they can't explain why. It's not always admiration either. Some may feel intimidated, others jealous, and some just uncomfortable without knowing the cause. The energy they radiate can't be ignored, and for many, that is threatening. It challenges their sense of normalcy, forces them to confront their own limitations, and makes them feel small in comparison. This unspoken dynamic creates tension that the chosen one can feel deeply, even when nothing is said. Emotional vampires are especially drawn to this energy. These are people who feed off the light of others because they lack an inner source. They latch onto the chosen ones seeking validation, comfort, or healing without offering anything in return. The problem is, the more the chosen give, the more these people take. It becomes an endless cycle of emotional drain, leaving the chosen feeling empty and exhausted. On top of that, misunderstandings pile up. People project their own insecurities, fears, or desires onto the chosen ones, often without even realizing it. They misinterpret their quiet strength as arrogance, their need for solitude as rejection, and their wisdom as condescension. The chosen ones don't fit into the boxes that people expect them to, and that often leads to friction. Their aura disrupts, but it's not their job to make others feel comfortable. Most people fear what they don't understand. When a chosen one enters a space filled with others, their energy often causes discomfort. This discomfort stems from a deep fear of the unknown. For many, the chosen one represents something beyond their understanding, a force that challenges the status quo and forces them to face their own limitations. Most people prefer the familiar, the predictable, and the comfortable. When confronted by someone who embodies a higher purpose, it forces them to confront aspects of themselves they'd rather ignore. This fear manifests in many ways. Some may react with hostility, projecting their own insecurities onto the chosen one, accusing them of being aloof or arrogant, when in reality, the chosen one is simply existing in a space that feels authentic to them. Others may try to minimize the chosen one's light by making snide comments or downplaying their achievements. This is often a desperate attempt to regain control over their own narrative, leading to painful misunderstandings. The irony is that the chosen ones don't want to intimidate anyone. They simply want to be themselves, yet their very presence can make others feel inadequate, triggering defensive behavior. As a result, the chosen often find themselves isolated, feeling as though they can't truly connect with those around them. The fear of what they represent creates a barrier that's difficult to break. They stand apart, not because they want to, but because their existence serves as a mirror, reflecting the limitations and fears of those who can't see beyond the surface. In this way, their very essence becomes uncomfortable for those who fear the unknown. Small minds often try to contain great souls. For the chosen ones, the world often feels like a crowded marketplace with voices shouting for attention, all trying to define what success, happiness, and even identity should look like. The pressure to conform to societal expectations can be overwhelming. People around them may try to categorize them based on superficial traits or expectations. This need to fit people into predefined roles or labels is instinctual for many, but for the chosen, it feels stifling. When someone tries to confine a chosen one, it's like trying to bottle lightning. They can't be easily defined or categorized. Their spirit rebels against any attempt to confine them. This instinct to reduce the chosen one to something manageable comes from fear of the unknown, fear of what can't be controlled. Those who lack the vision or ambition to transcend their own limitations often feel threatened by the potential of the chosen. So, they attempt to box them in to make them more palatable, stripping away the qualities that make them unique. This constant pressure to be reduced to a label leads to frustration for the chosen, who feel that their essence is overlooked or misunderstood. They long for a world where their complexity can be appreciated, where their dreams aren't dismissed as impractical or unrealistic. It's exhausting to constantly fight against the expectations of others. Over time, they learn that the only way to preserve their authenticity is to distance themselves from those who seek to box them in. Ultimately, the chosen ones understand that they were never meant to fit in. They were meant to stand out. They must fiercely protect their freedom, embrace their individuality, and navigate life on their own terms, even if it means walking alone. They know that true fulfillment lies in honoring their own journey, not in trying to meet the limited expectations of a world that values conformity over authenticity. For the chosen ones, navigating the world can be a bewildering experience, especially when faced with the overwhelming prevalence of illusion. Many people around them aren't just living in a fantasy, they're addicted to it. They cling to superficial appearances, chasing status symbols, societal approval, and fleeting pleasures, while ignoring the deeper truths that lie beneath the surface. This addiction to illusion creates a distorted reality, where genuine connection and authentic experiences are sacrificed in favor of maintaining a facade. In a world obsessed with social media, curated lifestyles, and shallow relationships, the chosen often find themselves at odds with the prevailing mindset. They are seekers of truth, yearning for depth and authenticity in a world that prizes the superficial. When they encounter those who are immersed in these illusions, it can be disheartening. The chosen long for meaningful conversations and real connections, yet they often find themselves met with distractions and denial, leaving them feeling isolated in their pursuit of genuine experiences. The danger of this addiction to illusion is that it fosters collective ignorance, making it hard for people to distinguish between what is real and what is not. The chosen observe how individuals build their identities around false narratives, often unaware of the emptiness beneath their carefully crafted lives. This dissonance is troubling. The chosen want to inspire others to break free from these illusions, but they often find that many prefer the comfort of their fantasies over the discomfort of facing harsh truths. In the end, the chosen must learn to navigate this landscape with discernment. They have to protect their energy and creativity from being drained by those caught in illusions, while also seeking out the few who can see beyond the surface. This journey may be lonely, but it's crucial for their growth. In a world clouded by illusion, the chosen ones are called to remain steadfast in their truth, guiding others toward authenticity, even if it means taking a less conventional path. For the chosen ones, the gift of knowing is both a blessing and a burden. They possess a deep awareness that often goes beyond the surface-level experiences of daily life. This heightened insight allows them to see the truth about people, situations, and the world around them. However, this gift comes with its own challenges. Understanding what others often ignore, like seeing the pain behind a smile or sensing hidden motives, can feel heavy and isolating. It creates a deep sense of responsibility, as they carry the weight of understanding that others choose to overlook. This burden is felt in many ways. When the chosen ones witness the struggles of others, they may experience intense empathy, which can sometimes become overwhelming. It's as though they bear the weight of the world's suffering, seeing the collective pain that most people remain unaware of. This awareness can paralyze them, especially when they feel helpless to make a change. They want to help, to share their insights, but often find that others are either unwilling or unable to accept the truths they see. This creates a painful divide between them and the world around them. Furthermore, the depth of their understanding can make it difficult for chosen ones to relate to others. Conversations that feel deep to them may seem superficial to others, leaving them disconnected. They long for meaningful connections, but often feel like outsiders, separate from those around them. This emotional disconnect can lead to loneliness and frustration as they search for the depth they crave. The burden of knowing can be isolating, leading them to retreat into themselves for comfort. While the gift of insight is invaluable, it requires them to navigate a complex emotional landscape. They must learn to balance their awareness with self-care, accepting that while they can't save everyone, their understanding can still guide those ready to seek the truth. For the chosen ones, the journey through life is often lonely, but this solitude is no accident. It's part of the design. From a young age, they sense that their path is different, driven by an inner calling that sets them apart. While others pursue conventional goals and seek societal approval, the chosen ones are drawn toward a deeper purpose, one that others often misunderstand. This inherent difference creates a distance, leaving them feeling like wanderers in a world that doesn't fully understand or appreciate their uniqueness. This loneliness is intensified by the awareness they carry. They see the world with clarity that others may lack, which creates an emotional gap. Conversations that are meaningful to them often feel shallow to others. They seek depth and authenticity, but it's challenging to connect with those who are consumed by the distractions of everyday life. As a result, they often retreat into themselves, finding solace in solitude, where they can reflect, recharge, and connect with their inner wisdom, away from the noise of the world. While this isolation can be painful, it serves an important purpose. This loneliness is not a punishment. It's a sacred space where the chosen ones can cultivate their gifts. In solitude, they gain new insights, develop their creativity, and connect more deeply with themselves. This time of inner work and spiritual growth prepares them for their ultimate calling. Ultimately, the chosen ones must learn to embrace their solitary path, understanding that this loneliness is a crucial part of their journey towards self-discovery and fulfillment. Though it may feel isolating at times, it is also a powerful opportunity for transformation. They are not meant to blend in, they are meant to stand out. This solitary journey shapes them into catalysts for change, guiding others with their wisdom and authenticity. In a world dominated by illusion and conformity, the chosen ones walk a path of their own, marked by isolation, deep awareness, and a relentless pursuit of true authenticity. It is also a sacred space that nurtures growth, resilience, and profound insight. The chosen ones bear the weight of understanding, granting them the ability to see truths that remain hidden to others. However, this awareness is both a gift and a burden, as they navigate the challenges of relationships and societal pressures. Over time, they learn to embrace their uniqueness and stay true to their calling, paving the way for others to discover their own light. Ultimately, the journey of the chosen ones stands as a powerful testament to the strength of embracing one's authentic self in a world that often tries to limit or confine. They are the trailblazers, the visionaries, and the healers, those who encourage us to look beyond the surface and dive deeper into our own truths. Their solitude is not a curse, but rather a refuge where they can recharge and reconnect with their higher purpose. If you connect with this message and want to explore more about what it means to be a chosen one, we invite you to subscribe to our channel Soul Pathway. Join us as we delve into these topics, share inspiring stories, and build a community of like-minded souls. Your journey of self-discovery and empowerment is waiting for you, and together, we can light the way for ourselves and others. Don't miss out. Hit the subscribe button and start this extraordinary journey with us.